Hi all, welcome to my channel, welcome to my world. This is the world of Wayne. Happy Wednesday. Today we're going to be doing pack 6 of the Agora models release and build the Lamborghini Miura. Now we're coming up to halfway through this build now, so I thought it'd be a good idea to actually just lay out everything we've done at the moment so we can actually see where we're up to. In this stage we're going to be doing a lot of work on a bit more of the bodywork, which is good. Some big boxes, actually some big bits of bodywork today as well, you're going to see. And we've got some details to add to the interior as well. Now if you want to get this for yourself, I have put the link in the video description. You can get this all the way from pack 1, but without further ado, let's get cracking. So as I said, a little bit of a quick review of where we're up to. So that is the engine bay there. Now, in the last stage, I missed out a piece because I had a little piece missing. But as you can see, I've got it in now. It's just this little piece here, which just goes on the edge just there like that. But that's the engine, and it's already on its mount there. We've already done 1 and 2 tyres. 2 tyres here. Put that to one side. We've got the dashboard, which looks like that. That's where we're up to with that lovely soft sort of material. I don't know what that is, like a rubbery material. We've been doing the interior, and this is what we're going to be building more on today, looking like that. We've already done one of the seats, looks like that, and we've already done one of the doors as well. I mean, check that paintwork out, which is already electrified up as well. That looks brilliant, because obviously that's going to activate the door lights, I guess. So when it shuts, the interior door lights will go off. But that's the door. The only other thing I've got, I do have a little bag of stuff here. I've got a spare mesh from the engine. I've got a little Lamborghini badge. But that's everything that I've got for this build so far. So let's move on now to the first stage. And that first stage is stage 43. And lots of interior details here going to be going onto the floor pan. So the first thing we've got, you'll never see these anymore. This is the opening for the ashtray. And that's just going to go on the centre console, just into this piece in the centre there. So I'm just going to line this up and then push this in. There is 2 holes either side. And you heard that click in there. There you go. That's the ashtray in position there. It's like seeing ashtrays on planes now. It's just a weird thing. Now there is a certain way this goes in. The long edge should be towards the front of the car here. The next thing we've got in this bag is the handbrake lever. Get this out. There's actually 2 little holes just on the side there where this is going. So just get that lined up and push that in. Just like that. It goes in so hard. It is really tough fit to put in, that it's not needing any glue or anything like that. So that's the handbrake in. Then we've got some passenger handles. I don't know why I used the plural there. It's a passenger handle looking like that. This is just going to go onto these points that we can just see at the side here. So the shorter side is towards the ashtray there, the longer side towards the front of the car, and push that down. There we go, and that's in like that. We've got a grill here for the gear selector, which is just going into the middle here. There is a way round it goes. If I just push this in, basically the 3 raised sections we've got on this side just go towards this side of the car. Now there is a D-shaped hole down the bottom, which we're going to be putting the gear stick on. That looks like this. Sort of bends over towards the left when we put this in. So when that's in, that looks just like, and that is all there is to do in that stage. In the next stage here, we've got the first bits of electrics. For the front of the car, we're going to be doing the pedals. So the difference between them, you've got one pedal which has got just a tab at the end. A pedal looks exactly like that, but rather than have a tab, it's got like a hook looking like that. And then it's easy to distinguish the gas pedal, because that's far bigger than the rest of them there. So we just got to take the cradle that these are all going to sit in. Got them here. And the first pedal I'm going to be putting in is the gas pedal. And that's just going to sit in like that. And the next pedal then is the brake, going on that side just there. And then the next thing, just how these operate, is when the pedal's pushed down, that hook that you saw is going to come up this hole at the back there, and it's going to activate a switch. So we just need to put some switches in. They are in this bag. Now the accelerator switch has got a white wire, and the brake switch has got a green wire. Now I'm looking at mine. They're exactly the same colours. Now, to be honest with you, it's not going to make a difference. They're a switch. I just need to know that later on when I actually connect these up. So the first one is just going to be going in here. I will probably label that accelerator. And then the second one will be just going next to it, facing down there. We've then got a cover to put over the top here. That's what the cover looks like. The hole at the front there goes towards the pedals. So just put that into position here, just like that, so it fits flush. We want to hold that together with a K screw. We do have that in this pack here, and screw that all the way down. So if you just press these, you should be able to hear a click as they go down. Excellent. Now if I just turn this upside down, next to the brake pedal here, we do have a little tiny hole for this last pedal to go in. So I'm just going to push that in there. Now that pedal doesn't really do anything, but that's the 3 pedals in place with the switches in place as well. We're then going to bring over the interior. Okay, so this is actually just going to go into the hole that we can see at the bottom. Easiest way to put this in is to put the clutch pedal in first, then the brake pedal, turn it at an angle, and then you can slowly get the gas pedal in there as well, just like that. And that's going to fit flush just in this, to this little channel right here. Just getting that in. Now when that's in, I can't reiterate this enough, you want to make sure that's flush in there. It does take some pushing down to get it on there, but that's in. As you can see, the pedals are now in position there. Now we do have a footrest left over. They haven't asked us to install that yet, so I'm going to keep that to one side, but that's all there is to do in that stage. So that leads us on to stage 45, where we've got the second seat here. So we're now in a position to actually fit the seats, because we've already got one seat. So we've got some J screws here. Get them open and get the seat out. Once again, the seat is that lovely rubbery material here. And the first thing we want to do is take the cigarette lighter. This came with stage 44 in a packet. So if you haven't got that, double check that you haven't thrown it away, like I did. And that's just going to go into the hole just here. So it is just a push in. You might need to just file the bottom just a little bit to get any excess paint off there. But when that's in, that should look just like that. Using a type K screw, which we did have from last time, we now get to put that footrest in just into the point just at the back here. Line it up, turn it over, just put a K screw just through the other side here. So when that's in, got the footrest on that side as well. We need both seats. There's actually no difference between these seats. It doesn't matter which one we put in where, but as you see, we have got 2 lugs at the bottom. They're just going to go into the 2 holes here. So we've got one, making sure it's lined up going in that side, and one just going in that side there. And that's held in from the underside with these flanged J screws. You just know the seats are going to fall out when I turn it upside down, but I'll get these in. And it takes 2 on each side. Here's the last one going in. Now the magic happens. I'll turn this round so we can have a look. That looks good, doesn't it? And that is all there is to do in that stage. Another fiddly part, this one, stage 46, we're going to be building the steering wheel column. Now, every build I've done so far, this has always been pretty challenging, but let's have a go. So I'm going to take the bottom of the steering column, just looking like that, and I'm going to be putting my first switch in, which is the indicator switch, and that's the one that's got a switch on one end and a yellow on the other end there. Now the switch part of this, the button part, is actually facing towards the inside So it's going to go in that channel here. Probably best if I do it and show you first. So that the button's on the inside there. And then I'm just going to rotate this cable around this pin at the back here. Sort of stuff the wires down. So that then it can come out the side of the steering column just like that. The next switch we got is the horn switch. This is the one with the blue on the end of the plug. This is just going to go this way round. So the switch is actually facing outwards this time. Just on the side there. Then we've got the indicator and horn lever, which we're going to put in. There's a tiny spring in here, just so you know. And I can see this is going to be fiddly because the spring's got to go on the end of this one here. I don't want to lose this. So stand by, I'm going to be very quiet while I put this on. As you can see, the spring is on the end there. And then we're going to be putting it next to the switch we've put in this little cavity here, this way round. So if I get this in, make sure the spring is compressed in there, which it is. So it should look just like that. That was tough. I think it's probably going to be best to test this when it's actually got the cover on, which I think I'm going to put on now because I don't want that falling out. I'm just going to show you how the wires are traced around there before I put the top on. Let's get this top into position. Make sure that the leads are coming out the side here. Just like that. Oh, that was fiddly. There's always one stage, isn't there? And we can just check this, that if we push it, let me figure it out what way. That way, you can hear the click of the indicator. And I guess when it goes back the other way, you're pushing the horn. So that's how that's working. Excellent. Now we've got some type H screws here. I'm just going to get these out. And so I don't ever have to look at that again, I'm going to put them together. That was hard. Take your time on that one. Definitely take your time. It does say when it's together you should hear the click, but I don't know if you can hear that. Definitely a click. And that is all there is to do in that stage. We do have the light left over, and we've also got the steering column left over as well. And now for something completely different. We're going to be doing the interior roof panel now. So I'll get all these parts out, and that's what the interior roof panel looks like. And we do have this little section here that we're going to need to put into the front there. Okay, so holding it this way round, we've got these little switches to put in. There is a little mould line on there, a little circle. If I make sure that's towards my right, this is just going to go in here like that. So as you can see, we now have some switches on the top of the headliner there. We're just going to leave that to one side. Very strange how we're doing this, because we're going to be bringing over the steering column that we just worked on last time again. We're actually now going to be putting the column into this. Okay, so what we want to do is we want to actually put the steering column in through the back here, just like this, till it comes out the front. Now, because we've moved the wires around, it should be easy to get that to show on that side there. I want to rotate this around so that this section there is looking exactly the same as that one there. So it's going to be turning that way. What that's going to enable me to do is when I put the steering wheel in, which I'm just about to do now, just like this, I'm going to make sure that when the wheels are lined up, the steering wheel is going to be straight, just like that there. Now that's going to be held in with a D screw. Got that labelled up here. Labelled up, got that loaded up. So now I can put that in. So just to confirm, as you can see, that's in the central position and that is pointing in that direction there. We can now push the badge on, making sure we put it the right way around so that the ball is facing upwards, and that is all there is to do in that stage. stage 48, I think it's probably best to show you on this camera. Check that out. Let's get this open. Look at that. That looks absolutely brilliant. I love the colour. Absolutely brilliant. I love it. And look how big it is compared to me. Wow. Excellent. Quite simply, all we're going to do is we're going to take the frames from the last stage, and there's 2 slots just above the window. I don't know if you can see that there, or the door opening, sorry. Just going to push them into position so that we now have a frame on the side of the car there. Just do exactly the same on the other side. Perfect. Show you that on the close-up camera. That looks just like that. Again, we can move this to one side, bring over the steering column again, but this time we need the dashboard. Turning the dashboard over, and I've got 2 plugs from that column which are just going to go through the opening that we can see just at the side of the dashboard there. So one there, and then feed the other one in as well. This stage is all over the place, isn't it? Headliners, back to steering columns. Okay, this is going to be going this way round. Keep pushing it forward so it can fit into this section just like that there. And then in stage 46 we had a type B screw, which I've got here. Once I've got that lined up, I'm just going to turn it over and I'm going to secure it in with a type B screw just here. Perfect. And as you can see, the steering wheel is now mounted to the dashboard. That looks absolutely brilliant. I'm so happy with that. Excellent. The last thing to do is take that LED light that we just saw earlier, and as you can see behind that section that we've just screwed in, there's a hole. This LED light's just going to go into the hole just behind that, which will light everything behind the dashboard up. So the dials are now light up like that. And that's all there is to do in that stage. Isn't it strange that we started this stage with the bodywork here looking like that? We finished it with the dashboard. In stage 49, we're going to be adding some details to the interior roof panel. And again, we've got some electrics there. The first detail I need is the air vent knob. Now this is a very, very tiny detail. As you can see there, that comes in with this little detail here. So, I'm going to get that knob and push it into this hole. It says don't put too much pressure on it, otherwise you could end up breaking the pin, which I don't want to do. So I'm just being very gentle to get that in. And you know what I'll probably do when I have things like this? I do just put a tiny bit of oil in there, just to help that go in. That was a lot harder than it seemed, but as you can see, that's in there, coming out the other side. Then I've got the interior ceiling light, which is just going to go into this side here, making sure the lenses come out each side. You heard that click in. Now you can see there's lenses on each side there. A large LED here, a big wire on there, which is actually just going to go into that. So now that's going to light up the interior light. And just fold that lead back, so it's going to be going along the edge just like that there. I don't want this light to move, so I have to just put a little bit of glue in there just to hold that into place. And while that's drying, keep that over there. I'm just going to make the rear view mirror. Quite simply, this is just on this bit of sticky here. Get this in. Just like that. And it does have a protective cover on it, so I just need to get that protective cover off. Just like that. And there we go. We've got a rear view mirror. That's going to be going just at the front here, obviously facing towards the rear view. Just like that. And then it's going to be held in from the other side here, just with a type L screw. Now this is a flange screw. There you go. That's the mirror in. Let's put that to one side because I'm going to be doing the sun visors. There's 2 of these, but one of them, as you can see, has got a little cavity in there. Once again, just to put a little mirror in. So again, take the adhesive off the back put this into position. Make sure it's round the right way. Push that all the way in, and then again just take off the protective film, and we have a mirror. But we don't actually fit these in this stage, so I can put that to one side because that's all there is to do in that stage. So that just leads us to the last stage of this pack, which is stage 50. We're going to be fitting the interior roof panel, right door, lock handle and hinge. So we've got all that here. Looks like we're actually making another door. And we are making another door. Check that out. I love that. Absolutely love it. Lovely colour. So it's going to look pretty much what we created earlier. So what we're going to do is put the door to one side, because we're not using that, and bring over the headliner again, because we have got some visor supports here. Now we need to put the visor supports just in these holes here, and they do have a way round that they go because the lugs are slightly different sizes. So I'll get these off the sprue and I'll put these in. So just make sure you put the larger lug in the larger side. Get one of them in now. Push that all the way down. So they go in flush like that. And then I'm going to take the visor with the mirror and just insert these into the two holes each side. And there we go, that's that one in. And then just do the same on the other side here. They are a little bit tricky. You have to bend them back a touch just so you've got enough room to get these in. Like that. And there you go, and that one clicks in as well. And that's the headliners in. So I'm just going to bring up my Partwork upgrades mat now, because I want to take this massive section of the car here, turn it upside down. We're about to put the headlining in. Now we just want to make sure that this lead comes out the back, and that's just going to fit on just like that there. It's actually going to be held in with some D screws just in here and just underneath the visors here and on the other side. This is the last one, just going in here. Excellent. I can just put that to one side now. And I've got some details just to put on the door. These are some little chrome details here. So the first one is going to be just into the two holes that we can just see there. And there is a smaller and a larger one to get these lined up. Use my tweezers for this. That was quite tricky to get in there, I have to say. But there we go. That's that one in. I've got another one here, which sort of goes over the one we've just put in, and then the little tab at the bottom there is going into that hole. So get this in, show you what this looks like, and there we go. When that's in, it should look like that. That was more tricky than it should have been, I think. And all we're going to do is just put the hinge on. We've done this plenty of times before. So I'll just open the hinge up here. It goes on this way, just into the cavity. We've got a little metal bracket to put on. That's just going to go over the top to keep that in. And we're holding that in just with some type C screws. Going into metal, a little bit of oil just to help me out there. So that's one. And just put one in the other side. There you go, that's the hinge in. That's the door complete. That's all there is to do in that stage. That's all there is to do in that pack. So we've actually done the door. And we've also got the headlining into the car with the sun visors there. Just put that down, and then the last thing we've got is the dashboard where we put the steering wheel in. You know, that's like 2 video car builds this week so far. I didn't realise how fiddly that was going to be, to be honest with you. Steering column, quite fiddly. Putting those sun visors in, wow, that took a while. But yeah, take your time on that. Definitely use the glue option and make sure that those pegs are all the way in before you start mucking around trying to put the sun visors in. You won't have a problem. But once again, if you want to get this for yourself, I have put the link down here to the Agora Models website. You can get this all the way from pack 1. But I really hope you liked that video. If you did, please remember to give me a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed already, please remember to subscribe. Other than that, take care.